Hey, how's it going? It's late. I'm recording this at almost 1 a.m. because I just spent the last, 2 hours playing piano, so I have a lot of energy. Just enough to record this wonderful podcast for all of you lovely folks out there. Again, if you like these podcasts, I say again because I've said it before and I'll say it again, liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, going to Patreon and supporting, reviewing, sharing, I already said sharing, all those things, I'm doing them if you like them. I landed on the wrong note and I'm like, what do I play? Play this a million times. That should be a good sign to get into the podcast on this late night recording session. It's so late. I'm hitting wrong notes. All right, so how you doing? How are you? How are you? And how'd you get up there? I'm here to talk to you about something. And that something usually is a topic, a point of discussion in which I can build things off of that topic. And that topic usually comes to me during the theme song. And the word that I got as a prompt was subbing. And you're like, what's subbing? Like substitute teacher. Oh yeah, I'm filling in for Mike. He usually does this route, but I'm filling it. I'm a sub for Mike. He does this route. I do the West End, but now Mike, he's got his daughter's birthday, so he can't do it today. So I'm filling it, subbing. I am doing that. As you listen to this day of, hopefully you're just brimming, just waiting for 3 p.m. on Sundays, the arbitrary time I picked to release this podcast. It drops on 3 p.m. on Sundays. So this Sunday, the 10th, when this comes out, I will be subbing in a band, as I've done many a time, subbing. However, this is a different band. This is a band of a mixed band of people I know and people I don't know, or people I know of. And that band is May Erlewine's band, which I got the call to do. Let's see, today's technically Wednesday morning. So I got the call on Saturday. And looking forward to doing that. She's got a lot of great tunes. She's got a lot of fun tunes picked, too. A mix of stuff I don't need to look at, and then things that I do need to look at that I've looked at today. I was doing that earlier whilst Instagram living. And, I think about all of the times that subbing has been a huge boost, whether it's career, whether it's my own ego, which it's just sitting nice and low so I don't lose my way. But I have the confidence. I know I can do things, but there's always that part of me that's in like middle school being like, don't mess up or someone's gonna get mad. It's like, no one gets mad. No one gets mad. If someone's truly mad at you messing up, you did something wrong. you must have done something horrible. Like, oh, I called him to sub in the gig, and he lit the stage on fire, and he killed my cat, and then he threw me off a bridge. It's like, yeah, it's bad subbing. Clearly not at all what was intended with the subbing. Not that I would think, subbing for May. If May ever got angry, I feel like that would be akin to like a volcano appearing in Michigan. You'd be like, this shouldn't happen. Why do we have this volcano? We don't have it. We're not on a fault line. There's no shifting of tectonic plates. We don't even have mountains. How do we have a volcano? But subbing, I think of the times that I've had to sub. They're never with like ample time. I don't think there's ever been a time where someone's been like, hey, can you sub for me on a gig? And it's been like a month out. It's always like, oh man, I'm sick. Are you able to sub this gig? It's tomorrow. Or subbing for Wicked when it came to DeVos Center. I played 6 shows. I feel like I've mentioned this on the podcast in the past, but I played 6 shows. I was only contracted to do 4, and then they added 2. But I got the music. Here's the timeline. I got the call to sub. I think it was on Sunday. I went to school the next day, but then I got the book dropped off for me to practice with. I practiced. I had a rehearsal with the Pit the next day. Did not know the music at all. Like, not well at all. Never listened to the soundtrack. I was listening to it to play along with. I was like, okay, hopefully I can learn all this. The director was like, man, this guy doesn't really know it. Will he be ready? It's in a few days. It's like, I have to be ready. Like, what do you mean am I going to be ready? I don't know if this guy's going to do it. He had less than a day to learn it, and he has other commitments, and he's doing his masters, and he plays in other groups, and he does a lot of work. But surely he could learn this and not sleep. He's got 8 hours of sleep. He could cut down to 4, and then he could shed the music for 4 hours. There's coffee. He could make coffee. And so, yeah, music for less than a day, rehearsals, or, less than a day in terms of waking hours looking at the music. I had to ghost 2 shows, and ghosting, in that context, is where the Pit director sets up another, or maybe the tech people that work with the show, they set up another MIDI station rig. So a keyboard, they're, custom ordered or made, software on a PC with all the bells and whistles, all the pedals I need to get used to, the MIDI changing pedal, the various sustain and expression pedals, because there are cues for everything. Volume, the normal articulations and nuances of recorded sheet music. The MIDI patch changes for labeled in different bar lengths. All of those things. Had to learn them in a week, under a week. Got the music on Monday. My first show where I was live with the Pit was Sunday. I had to play. I think I played an evening show, and then I played the early show. Both of those were ghosted. It's like the evening show on Friday and the early show on Sunday. I might have played one on Saturday. I might have done 3, but I feel like I only did 2, and then I had to play that evening. And then after the first couple, they added 2 more once they saw I could play the show. And, the little gold star next to my higher ability. Hey, you need someone to learn a musical in less than a week? I got it. Apparently, I didn't know I could do it until someone was like, can you do it? And I said, yeah. And then I did it. And I'm like, yep, I did it. I guess congrats to me. Also subbing, you know, when accompanists for different people bail or they flake or whatever, they're like, can you sub in? You've played this song with Becky. She learned it for her recital. Yep, she did. That was 5 months ago, but I guess I'll learn it for tonight. Or, hey, can you sub in with this band? The pay is $75. It's a 4-hour show, and you have to learn 40 tunes. And you're just like, okay, sure. I'll sub in your weird band that plays so many hours. You know? Oh, yawning. Love it. I love yawning. It's great. It means I'm tired, 'cause it's really late. I don't need nobody to tell me to go to sleep, 'cause I'm a few minutes away from counting sheep. I can't wait to lay my head down. I will lay on a couch and I won't make a sound. I swear I'm playing all of these things. I need a new setup. You know? That's partially why I'm here so late, is that I'm reorganizing this office so that I can walk in and just hit a couple things and start working on things, because with how this office is crowded, there's stations, but there's not a lot of like space. And that's my fault, because I'm a person who sees a room and goes, but I don't have every square foot used. Like if you went into my room, you'd be like, how do you live in this room? I'd be like, I don't know. This is the only way my room works. Is I put the bed in the corner. I have enough room to go from the door to my desk, and that's it. That was 2020. Just like go from the door to my desk. But now, there's so many more things to do. This sound almost sounds like a guitar. This is basically a wedding song. She was waiting for her daddy to come to town. She knew there was nobody else around. He took her in her arms and said, baby girl, it's late. And then he, what did he do? He took her inside and fixed her a plate. He said tomorrow's the big day, and you'll never it's the big day's tomorrow, and you'll know what to do. Take my baby girl and take her well. I guess now he's talking to the groom. Take my baby girl and treat her good, 'cause I'm very skeptical of this marriage, and not because there's any reason to be. I'm just a dad in a country song. Then put like a steel guitar. She said, Daddy, I don't even care enough to like make. What is the song about? It's about a daddy, and then maybe, you know, like there's the you and me living free, 'cause freedom's important in the middle of a wedding song. The freedom to get married to someone who is approved by the very rigid and traditional daddy that's talking about his daughter getting married today. Yeah, this sounds like it sounds like I'm playing a Rhodes with like an acoustic guitar almost. Unless you like really play it like a piano. I'm so glad I don't have weddings right now. Subbing. Back to subbing. We're gonna stay on topic, you know, this late. Subbing, you know, it could lead you to new opportunities. For example, if you follow my other podcast, Life is a Piano, you will know that I have talked to Craig Avery, a pianist who plays in groups like Brenna. We both graduated from Grand Valley State University at different times. But years ago, at a tiny little church in Ludington, I subbed for Craig Avery. Now, what does subbing at a church in Ludington look like? You got to leave at like 6 because apparently Jesus gets up before the sun comes up. You know, because Jesus is all about that hustle grind set. So he needs to be up ready to throw down. Even though Sunday biblically was his day of rest, ain't nobody rested. The Lord is resting, and we must be ready for his attesting. So I got up, drove up to Ludington. Distinctly remember, you know, like on the highway, doing one of these, like, you know, dipping in and out of being awake, ended up in an exit lane. You know, dip, come back to reality, in an exit lane. So I stopped and got caffeine and kept driving because it's like a 90-ish minute drive from Grand Rapids. Probably like 75, 80. And subbed at this church. All right. Now I built a rapport with Craig. Craig then, later on, asks if I can sub in a band called Groove 101. And I thought, yeah, I got the day free. Why not? They were playing some festival. I think it might have been Suds on the Shore, like a beer festival that Ludington puts on every summer. And who do I meet in this band? Basically all of the music admin people I would need to know in Ludington. You know, vocal instructors, band directors, the future music director of West Shore Community College, you know, awesome musicians and players with great, you know, support and family. So I, you know, subbed in this thing, didn't think anything of it. Cut to later, the Groove 101 band that I subbed in supported Pete Peterkin. And Pete Peterkin is an artist who grew up playing in the Four Tops and then kind of had a resurgence as an artist doing musical impressions of legends. So he could parody Stevie Wonder down to like all the instruments he played. And same with, like a James Brown, a Jimi Hendrix, like all these things. But we supported him on his Ray Charles show. And because at that time, Ray Charles had been dead for however many years. That was the closest I ever got to play with Ray Charles. He was playing with someone who is a great impersonator of Ray Charles, but I got to play all that music that I grew up listening to. Then, this still isn't done. This is, again, from subbing for one dude and then getting the opportunity to sub for him again and then getting connected through the people that I subbed with. Cut to 2019. West Shore Community College is doing a production of Little Shop of Horrors, and they need a rehearsal pianist. Who calls me but the dude who led Groove 101, who eventually became the interim music director, who then became the music director of West Shore Community College. And he hired me to do that. And then the following year, right before everything shut down, I did a run with Mamma Mia. And I'm contracted to work again for 2022. So that was all from subbing for one person that I barely knew. And making the obscenely long drive to play like Lutheran music. It turned into a regular paid work opportunity purely because I showed up prepared and didn't murder anyone. I did. I'm just a nice person. You show up and you play. It's not that hard. I don't know how people make this so hard. How you get so much? Why do I hear gigs? Well, are you a nice person? Cool. Do you play well? Cool. It'll come. That's all I can say. Like, those are the two best qualities. Like, very rarely do you want to play with someone you don't get along with or don't work well with, and who isn't going to match or better your musicianship. When I put together trios, I always think of the bass player, someone who can push me, someone who is like so good that I have to be on my game, but they're also good people, smart people, fun people to play with. But subbing, what else? What's another good subbing story? I've never substitute taught. I've subbed, I don't know, even in little things like in group discussions in church, like in high school, subbing in and being like, "Can you run Bible study?" Yeah, yeah, why not? The Bible, Luke, Matthew, just saying words. I remember this when I worked at Camp Tall Turf, often the Bible studies that we'd have to do to wind down the day, very, very directed, very direct. It wasn't like I'd been sitting on, I'd kind of suss out the day and be like, all right, these two kids kept fighting. Today's Bible study is don't fight, please. That's it. Where does it say that? It says that everywhere in the Bible. It says, hey, you, stop fighting, please. Thank you. We're just trying to have fun at camp, and you're fighting because you have too much energy, because your blood sugar's out of control. I don't know. I don't know you. I'm only going to know you for like a week, and then maybe in 10 years I'll run it. You were my camp counselor. Oh, cool. What did happen? I don't know. That hasn't happened yet. It's been 7 years. It's bound to happen at some point. Run into someone downtown and be like, I was your camp counselor and you were horrible. But I also remember the fun, because we all have fun, right? We just love having fun. I needed like a That's better. That's a better transition song. Subbing is crucial. It is important. That's why I'm totally talking about it, and I'm not sticking to an accent. He was making fun of what? I didn't do. It's late. You made fun of it. You're the problem. How about we just enjoy some nice notes? That's a nice little groove. You know, subbing teaches you to, what skills you need to hone, because none of the gigs that I subbed in were because, there was never a point where I was like, I don't know if I'll be ready. I just, you just do your training, spend hours and 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 hours. How'd you get hours? How do you play hours? Is that how? So if I do like 20 minutes a day for 400 years, yeah. Unless your 20 minutes are like the most hyper-focused, efficient, cataloging of the workflow you need. If I just, could I get away with only doing 10 minutes a day? 10 minutes a day? So you want to do... And then 10 minutes go by and you're like, all right, I've mastered the piano. I'm going to go hit my hands with a hammer. It's this new drinking game called Hands Hammer, where if you hit your head with a hammer, take a drink. But hours. So that when you have to learn something fast, you have a system and you have a prior knowledge of vocabulary. So you're not sitting there going like, is that an E or a D? I mean, I still do that for high up ledger lines, but you just gotta be prepared. That's all I could say about subbing. You're gonna get those calls, and you're gonna be scared. You're gonna be anxious. You're gonna be like, I don't know if I can do it. And then when you do it, you're like, yeah, I could do it. I could do this again. And then they're like, you want to do it again? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Here we go. I'm gonna learn the song. Oh no. Yeah, what if it was like, just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Oh. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. They took the midnight train going anywhere. I couldn't hear the chord. Surging in the night. Street light wind surging in the night. Just hold that note. The night. That's how I'm going to play that song next time. Well, what an episode this was, huh? Let me know if I should record more episodes after midnight. Please tell me no. I'll record them early in the morning if you want to have a sleep. Let me know the ideal time I should record these. And leave comments if you like leaving comments. Like videos if you like liking videos. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Share it with people on the street. Buy, I don't know, a poster board with a QR code and stand in the middle of traffic until 70 people have scanned it. So you track the QR code using like a bit.ly link or something, or a Linktree thing. And, you keep track of it, and then, you've shared the podcast. You could also, just follow me on socials, Facebook and Instagram. But you know what? Facebook and Instagram, if that outage the other day didn't tell us anything, they're trying to hide stuff. I got a warning on my personal account for making a hyperbolized joke. Like, not even like, oh, I'm gonna make a racist joke. I was pointing out how the rhetoric of Tucker Carlson ends up a certain way, and how, the logic of him talking about immigrants and how they're the problem for everything. And I used crazy examples because it was, part hyperbole for humor's sake and part, like really leaning into the arguments that he was making, and not even arguments, just the fear mongering. And then Facebook was like, oh, you can't do that. That's hate speech. Oh, we got him. It's hate speech. Meanwhile, they could literally freeze their whole platform to just like, shred it all, Becky. The feds are coming. Shred all the documents. They're coming. Mr. Zuckerberg, I don't know if we can get it all done. You better get it done. I'm Mark Zuckerberg, and I want to be safe from all the federales. Meanwhile, I get a warning on my account for expounding on a hyperbolized version of bad rhetoric. And they're like, you're hating people. Bruh, there was a genocide in Myanmar, and that was all Facebook's fault. And they knew about it. They knew their algorithms were feeding this, and they were like, what can we do? People have access to all the info, and just because our algorithm pushes the stuff that people want to see that is a confirmation bias so that they can live in a world of fear and hate and arm themselves, not with knowledge, but with hate. And meanwhile, the Congress people are like, can you get rid of Finsta? Get rid of Finsta. You gotta stop selling Finsta. There's a bunch of meanies on Instagram, and they're making Finstas, and you sell Finstas. Finstas it's a trend on the platform, but it's not a product of the... No, it's you! You're the one who made Finsta, and it's bad, and you gotta take... The world is full of pain, and so much hate, and people running around being crazy. So listen to my podcast, and maybe you'll laugh, and you'll enjoy things, and it'll be great, and then you won't think about the endless problems all over the world. People hoarding wealth and using it to buy up every point of influence, because if you give a mouse a cookie, it's gonna want a glass of milk. If you give someone a lot of money, they're gonna want more of it, and they're gonna want power, and they're gonna want influence. They're gonna want to be able to be like, I don't want anyone to live near me or have the right to vote. Those are just two things I think strongly of, because I don't have to interact with the public anymore. So I've lacked empathy for humanity since my early 20s, when my bravado and my dad's wealth all kicked in at the same time while I was at an Ivy League school that my grandfather donated enough money to build the science building, so I was able to get in and just harass people for 4 years and then get a job at my uncle's stockbrokering thing. And now I'm just a bad person on TikTok who's padded his followers to seem like I'm super cool, but I live a vapid lifestyle of cars I can't drive and houses I don't live in, and dumb beach parties with dumb people. We're on the beach, living our best life. Oh, on the beach. Oh, cool. All of you are trash. I don't care if you're wearing, I'm wearing Versace. I don't care. You're all trash, all garbage. All of them, all garbage. Oh, Chester Remington V he's donated money to charity. Look into that charity. Maybe it's a shell company. Maybe it's just funneling money into a super PAC. The world is crazy, and this outro is now like 5 minutes long. Go do something that's helpful and healing and wonderful. I'm gonna, I don't know, probably go to sleep. 'Cause it's late and I have other things in the thing. Okay, see ya.